The chair lays out House Bill 1348. The chair recognizes Representative Clardy to explain his bill and apologizes for the long wait. I apologize, boss.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and no apology needed. I actually enjoyed that testimony on those bills. Very informative. Appreciate the work that this committee does on these issues and for taking the time to hear House Bill 1348, the Auto Body Insurance Accountability Bill. I think back on this bill often and fondly because you'll be hearing from one of my constituents, Burl Richards from Henderson, Texas, who actually brought this to me last session. We fought the good fight then, but we're back again for another round, and feel very optimistic about our chances here. What House Bill 1348 does, it really seeks to eliminate some of the biggest problems in the auto insurance market by ensuring that consumers, our constituents, have access to quality and safe original parts for their vehicles when they're being repaired. Consumers should be protected by state law and should not be subject to unsavory business practices that can lead to catastrophic events. Automobiles are among the biggest purchases our constituents make. We count on them to deliver us to our destination safely, and after a collision or damage event, Texans have a right and really an expectation that their vehicles will be repaired to its pre-accident condition. Repairs need to be made safely, using safe parts and following accepted safe procedures. I will pause and say this about repairs. We all remember the shade tree mechanics and guys around the neighborhood that could fix cars and swap out a carburetor and do those things. But cars have changed so much and so rapidly. In just the last few years since I came to the legislature in 2013, the safety advances and the features on cars now are remarkably different. And that technology has really driven some things that need to be accounted for in our insurance code with respect to repairs. You can have a car that looks perfectly well repaired, it's been painted, it looks nice, but we don't know that those sensors have been accurately calibrated to fit so that airbag deploys, that those safety features will work. All these things that now are commonplace in our newer cars can't be done by just somebody around the back. It takes specialized equipment, specialized training, and a significant capital investment by the companies that do this work to keep Texans safe. You'll be hearing from Ms. Sebashan, who will tell you about her case in Dallas County, their family case, and it really brought these safety issues to light. In that accident, a young couple was hit head-on by a large pickup, and their vehicle failed catastrophically, bursting into flames and trapping them inside. Fortunately, there was a young Marine who charged in, saved them from certain death, but their injuries were severe, requiring years of treatment. An investigation later revealed that the roof on their vehicle had been glued on rather than been tack welded in as required by OEM by the manufacturer's repair instructions. It literally been glued on with a equivalent of super glue, causing the roof to tear off, a failure of all the safety features, the chassis. All of these are incorporated components of a vehicle. The couple there was no way of discovering it. It was not reported to Carfax, and the experience is all too common. It was one of those things that we see time and time again. It's becoming an emerging safety issue for our constituents. Leading auto repair groups have stepped up and described this problem throughout our state. I've been working with leading folks in this industry, including Burl. When we came here last time, we were kind of a couple of guys on a mission, and it's really grown into a movement, and a movement I'm proud of. I think you may remember Auto Collision Day. We had the car, the van here on the grounds of the Capitol. To talk about this issue. And I want to stress this. These people are in this business to make a living, and they work hard, and they have employees, and they want to pay their bills and grow their business and make money, and that's the American way. But I've never met a group of people that are more committed to safety than these group of people that repair these vehicles. And they know what has to be done to repair the car, not just because they're training the experience, but because the manufacturers set out in excruciating detail, this is what has to be done. But the insurance companies have engaged in practices that discourage those repairs being done in the right way, in an acceptable way, and then not paying for those repairs when the specialists take it on themselves. The problem is endemic, and we're seeing it show up in a number of ways. One of the things this bill does, there's already in the statute a prohibition against what's called steering, where you have a wreck, you call up and they say, well, you ought to take it over to XYZ place, which has a special relationship with the insurance company. And you said, well, I'd rather take it to, pick on my boy Burl, who, by the way, we thought our coach from Corpus Christi was country. Wait till you hear Burl. But Burl was...
We have a ribbon at the end of it.
Yes, well, I don't know. He's going to medal. I'm not sure he's going to get gold, but he'll medal. But Burl will tell you that there's documented instances of this where Well, I'd like to take it to Burl. He's my collision guy. Well, if you take it there, you may not be able to get your deductible back. It's going to take longer. We can get somebody there right now if you'll take it over this shop. Very subtle, but sometimes not too subtle forms of steering by the insurance companies, and why it's a way they can reduce costs, have inferior repairs made, and pass that burden and truth back to the consumer who paid good dollars like we all do for our insurance policies and for our premiums. It's kind of a recurring theme, it seems, for today's testimony. HB 138 ensures Texans will have these safe repairs made using safe parts following these accepted safety guidelines and procedures. It strengthens our anti-steering laws, which I've mentioned. It does not mandate the use of original equipment. Now, again, there are times when original equipment OEM parts are necessary and required, but that's not required. That's dependent upon what the instructions are that come with the repair specifications. It does require that parts used in the repair are quality parts that have been proven to be safe. It defines prevailing rate and reasonable necessary amount to remove any confusion for repair facilities and the insurance industry alike, ensuring repairs are done the right way. This interim, I spent some time with the TDI, and there's a reason that we've had to come back with this bill. I was of the opinion then, and frankly I am now, that the existing bill against steerage and some other things within the provision, including these repairs, are in statute. But I was told by the TDI officials then and their crew that met with us, and several from the automobile industry or the automobile collision folks, that they didn't think they had the specificity within the statute to direct them how to deal with this. Now, I will say I think I have a fundamental disagreement in how the TDI seems to view its relationship between consumers and insurance companies. I don't see it as to be the broker or the mediator or the go-between or the liaison between the consumers and the insurance companies. I view the role of the TDI to be the advocate, to be the protector of the consumers, our constituents, of real Texans over the insurance companies. They are to have the oversight and responsibility to keep those companies in line and follow the statutes. But again, with deference towards their comments, we're back here today to provide that specificity in the law, where there's no question that the Texas Department of Insurance has oversight and responsibility and a means to enforce the law and to make sure that our Texans are kept safe. So I have droned on enough on this bill in my open. I'll reserve the right to maybe drone on a little better at the end, but I will just say I want to introduce a couple of folks who are going to be testifying for you. Burl, you will hear from Greg Luther with the Houston Auto Body Association, Gerald Compton, Southeast Texas Collision Group, Ware Wendell of Texas Watch, and Ms. Marcia Sebastian will be here to talk about the wreck. Unfortunately, Mr. Todd Tracy was unable to stay. His daughter has been in a serious health issue and had to return back to Dallas. But members, I'd ask you to pay particular attention to these witnesses. Listen to this issue. Think about this as your mom who may have had an accident in the parking lot, which we will not go into, Dr. Bonin, or others in your families had these wrecks. Think about those folks that you hear of, that your constituents call your office needing help because they're not getting treated fairly. That's our job to do that, and I hope, members, you will join me in that. With that, I'll reserve the right to close and answer any questions.
Did you say, is Ms. Sebastian still here?
I believe so.
Okay, great. We're going to call her first. I thought you said she may have gone back, but we want to make sure we take her up first. But does anyone have any questions for the? Yes, Representative.
Yes, sir.
Question for you. Does this prevent the insurance company from giving you the list of different repair shops and tell you these are?
No, not at all. It doesn't prepare
you need to go to
from a list. And again, that's one of the, and these something I think you can talk about that. But no, it doesn't prevent them from saying these are qualified, certified shops that can do these things. But what it does prevent them from doing is saying you really need to go to this one. You need to go to this shop to the exclusion of others. That's the purpose of this bill.
Do they actually do that nowadays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Members, any other questions? I think you need to be more thorough in your layout next time.
I'll do my best.
Okay,
Chairman.
all right. We'll call you up to close. Thank you, boss.
He's so shy.
He very is. Yeah, we're gonna get him some help. The chair calls Marcia Sebastian. If you please state your name, who you represent, and how you're testifying on the bill.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Marcia Sebastian. I represent myself, and I'm testifying in favor of House Bill 1348.
Thank you. Please proceed.
So I would like to start by first expressing my appreciation to you for supporting your daughter in Destination Imagination.
Awesome.
I did Odyssey of the Mind growing up. My mom was my coach, and we went to state. And I was just telling Matthew last week the impact it's had on my life and being able to legitimately survive situations like this. And I hope your daughter is able to talk about the impact on her life in her 30s.
Just a personal privilege. She's going to Globals in Kansas City next month, so we're all very excited.
I never had that
Yeah.
privilege, but I hope it's wonderful for her.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So thank you all for your time and consideration of this issue. And Representative Johnson, I especially want to tell you I appreciate your service to Carrollton. That's the area I grew up in. So my husband Matthew and I have always approached life with a sense of responsibility as a high priority. We worked very hard, we budgeted, we had education and career goals in mind, and we took care of our health. When we had to purchase a car in 2013, we did research into fuel efficiency, repair costs, and safety ratings. To this day, we still have the original Carfax report, which was printed for us, showing one previous owner and no bodywork on this vehicle. A few months after purchasing that car, we were driving to my grandparents' house in the Hill Country for Christmas when a truck lost control and hit us. We were both seriously injured, and it is exceptional that we are alive today. My injuries included, not limited to, broken bones, perforated intestines, spinal damage, and a torn aorta. 2 of my injuries should have killed me, and 1 could have. Matthew was not as fortunate. He was trapped in the car as it caught on fire and burned his legs, exposing the bone in some places. He is still alive. He wasn't able to come today. He didn't think he could endure this, honestly. The effects of the wreck on our health and marriage, thank you. I'm good sitting with my tears. Y'all are just going to have to too. I'm sorry. The effects of the wreck on our health, marriage, family, careers, and finances were devastating. This pain was exacerbated when we were told that this Carfax report was completely inaccurate and the car had in fact been repaired poorly before we owned it. The insurance company and the body shop had decided that for cost efficiency they would replace the roof with a 3M adhesive instead of welding it in the 108 places that the OEM standards specified. This choice impacted the structural integrity of the car, and it is the reason that our injuries were as severe as they were. One of our experts testified in court that had the car been repaired to OEM standards, a predictable outcome would have been that Matthew would have only suffered a broken leg, the same leg that I cleaned his bones on through his wounds. Companies spend time and money engineering safe vehicles. It is unconscionable that companies can undermine this process by approving insufficient repairs. This practice prevents Texas consumers from making informed decisions about their lives and safety, even when, like us, they do their due diligence and research.